religion plays a very important part in African American culture. I mean, religion has been like the source and the soul and the hope of our strength in America. And if you look at African American stories, you will see a lot of humor. Because they say, you know, maybe if I laugh loud enough, nobody will hear me crying. In this story, we talk about the Creator, God Himself. But in African American culture, we call Him the Lord. That's God Himself. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrow. The Lord knows, believe it or not, because He done had some troubles of His own. One day the Lord said to Himself the three most important words in African American culture. He said, this here ain't getting me nowhere. This here mankind I done people my earth with sure ain't much. I got a good mind to wipe them off the face of the earth and people my earth with angels. Well, the Lord, He went on down the road talking to Himself and studying about what He was going to do with the sin. He said, no, angels is all right for singing and playing and, flying around. But there ain't so much on working the crops and building up the levees. Nah, I better not monkey around with putting no angels on my earth. It just wouldn't do. And the Lord, He kept on talking to Himself, studying. Mankind is just right for my earth. He wasn't so dad blame sinful. I'm just sick and tired of the sin. I'd rather people my earth with a bunch of channel catfish than man and his sin. I am sick of the sin. But the Lord, He kept on walking down the road, walking, thinking. And as He's walking, who does He run into? But old man Noah. And Noah, he walking down the big road with his plug hat, his hammer tail coat. And Noah looks up and said, morning, brother. Us missed you in church this morning. The Lord said, oh, I ain't got time to go to church. I got work. Yeah, that's what everybody says. They ain't got time to come to church these days and times. Seems like the more I preaches, the more folks don't want to come to church. I hardly have enough members to fill up the choir. Well, I got to do the preaching and the basing too. The Lord said, is that a fact? Yeah, people too busy gambling and good timing and sinning and going home. Yeah, but you just wait. When old Gabriel blows the horn, they gonna find plenty of time to punch chunks down yonder in hell. And they're going to be begging to come to church too. But the Lord, He ain't going to pay them no mind. Yeah, they having their fun now. But when old Gabriel toots, the Lord going to be the boss. And the Lord said, well, Brother Noah, you don't know who I is, does you? Let me see. Your face looks easy. But I just can't call a name. But it don't matter what your name is. Just come on home with me. I believe the old lady done killed the chicken or so. And after us eat and rest up some, you can come on back to the church with me this evening, for the preaching. And the Lord said, well, I don't mind if I do. And that chicken sure sound good to me. Where the Lord and Noah went walking down the road, talking about this and that and the other. But the Lord, he never let on to Noah that he wasn't a natural man like everybody else. And pretty soon, there they were at Noah's house. I mean, the Lord and Noah had 8 chickens and dumplings a while. And the Lord pushed back from the table. He said, Brother Noah, I kind of believe it's going to rain. And Noah said, you know my corns is burning me too. Slip your feet out your shoes and brush yourself. Well, Brother Noah, what you do if it commenced to rain? What I do? I gently let it rain. What you do if it was to haul off and rain for 40 days and 40 nights? I'm not worried about that. Because in the first place, it ain't gonna rain that long, unless the Lord sends it. In the second place, I'm on the Lord's side, and the Lord gonna take care of me if he get to mucking with the weather. Ooh, you believe the Lord gonna take care of you, does you? I don't believe no such thing. I knows it. He said, I do the best I can for the Lord. And that's all the Lord expects of any man. I don't do much, but it's the best I got. Ooh, Brother Noah. He said, ooh. The Lord stood up, and he went down in his shirt front, and he pulled out his crown, and he set it on his head. And when the Lord talked, thunder and lightning came out his mouth. And when Brother Noah saw that, he dropped to his knees and he said, here I is, Lord. Here I is. I ain't much, but I'm the best I got. The Lord said, Brother Noah, it's gonna rain for 40 days and 40 nights. And it's gonna drown everybody on this earth. I mean everybody, excepting you and your family. Now I want you to get up and go out and build me an ark on dry land. And I want you to build it big enough to hold a pair of cows, a pair of mules, a pair of elephants, a pair of snakes, a pair of everything that creeps, crawls, swims, or flies. And I want you to make it big enough to hold a heap of grub too. That's from what I got in mind. There won't be no going to the commissary to get no food when it starts to rain. Hold up, Lord. Hold up. Did you say snakes? Snakes, Brother Noah. With all this rain and weather too, Lord? Well, I never thought about that. Yeah, but all that rain and weather too, He said, well, maybe you could bring some snakes. But I mean, I'm not scared of snakes, Lord. I'm not scared of snakes if and I had a little liquor handy. No, I'm not so much on the liquor. But Lord, with all that rain and weather, my rheumatism liable to come down on me, unless I had a little hard liquor handy. Well, I guess it do come in handy around snakes. Well, yeah, you better bring a keg of liquor on board. You better make it 2 kegs, Lord. Now, you know how it is, Lord. You put 1 keg at one end of the boat and nothing on the other. You know, Lord, liable to turn that boat over. 1 keg, Noah, and you set it in the middle of the deck. 1 keg is enough liquor for anybody for 40 days and 40 nights. 1 keg is all you carries. Yes, Lord. 1 keg. Well, right away, Noah went out and started to build on that ark. Ooh, there he was building that ark on dry land. And when folks came around and was watching him build this big old boat on dry land, they began to laugh. I said they began to laugh. boy kept on doing what the Lord told him to do. He kept on doing it, and they just kept on laughing. Yeah, Noah didn't pay him no mind. He did the Lord's work. And when he was done, when he was done, the first thing he did was to go out and get that keg of liquor and put it in the middle of the deck. Then they got all the food on board. And then the big job, he had to get all the animals, 2 of each kind, and put them on that boat before the rain come. And Noah's wife said, Noah, it's gonna be a big job getting all these animals on the boat. And besides that, the calf and the goat, the pig and the goat, they don't want to get on the boat. We're gonna need some help. Noah said, ooh, well, who we gonna get to help? Well, the only one I know is the dog. And when the dog heard that, his ears went up and he began to run to gather up those animals. And when those animals heard that dog bark, they knew he didn't take no nonsense. And they began to march into that ark, 2 by 2. They marched in the ark, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. What? 2 by 2. Oh, they marched in the ark, 2 by 2, all day long. And finally, it looked like the last animal was going in the boat. And just in time, too, a bolt of lightning flash, the thunder roared, a big dark cloud came over, the sky opened up, and down came the rain. Yes, and washed that spider out. Oh, wrong story. Down came the rain, and Noah's wife said, Noah, the storm is here. The rain is coming in the boat. We better close the door. Noah said, yeah, we better close the door. So Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons began to push on that door to try to get it closed. And they almost had the door closed when Noah's son said, wait, we forgot the dog. The dog was still outside, making sure no animal was being left out. But if that dog didn't hurry up, he was gonna miss the boat. And Noah's wife said, come on, little doggy. Come on, little doggy. Hurry up, little doggy. And when that dog heard her whistle, he began to run to that boat. But when he jumped on the boat, there were so many animals on the boat, there was no room for the dog. And Noah's wife said, oh dear, we can't leave the poor dog behind. Noah said, no, we can't. The Lord said we're supposed to have 2 of every animal. We only have 1 dog. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? She said, I've got it. I've got it. Everybody take a deep breath on the count of 3 and hold it as long as you can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 2.5, 3. And with all those stomachs sucked in, there was a little tiny space in the boat. And Noah's wife said, hurry up, dog! Get in the boat! And that little dog tried to squeeze himself in. Hurry up, dog! I can't hold my breath much longer. He tried to squeeze his little legs in. Hurry up! When finally everybody had to breathe out because they couldn't hold their breath any longer. But the dog, he made it. They thought he made it. Everything was in the boat except his nose. His nose was still outside. And for 40 days and 40 long nights, that poor dog's nose had to stay outside in the cold, wet rain. And to this day, that's why dogs have a cold, wet nose. But when the storm was over, oh glory, the Lord set a rainbow in the sky to remind all of mankind that it ain't gonna never, ever rain like that no more. But when the dog sees a rainbow in the sky, it makes him want to cry. Just remembering, wasn't for that keg of liquor, there would have been room for me in that boat. So the next time you see a rainbow in the sky, remember the poor dog. And for God's sake, stay away from the liquor. It ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. How can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? It ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. How can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? No more, no more. The Lord and Noah